Have you ever implemented something into your life and you had no idea that this was the name for it? Now that is me and manifesting. I've been doing this for years, but only recently I realized that that is what it's called. Now, I can only speak on my experience. I can't speak on what anyone else is practicing because it's different from person to person. So this video is really just me talking about things that I've implemented that I consider to be manifesting, which is putting my desires out into the world and it coming back to me. So before I dive into what I want to talk about, I want to give a definition. This is one that I found that really encapsulates what I think for me personally is what I do and what I consider to be manifesting. I'll put it on the screen. But the definition of manifestation is to make it happen. To manifest something means to visualize your desire and to harness the power of your imagination to make it a reality. In short, manifesting means to make dreams come true. And honestly, this definition really embodies everything that I believe that I've been doing is considered to be manifesting. I only realized that this is what it's called because I was scrolling through social media and I saw a video and a light bulb went off in my head and I was like, but Marie, you've been doing this for a very long time. And so this is why I'm making this video, because I'm hoping that it can help someone who is probably on a journey of just trying to put themselves into a place that they want to be and they have no idea how to start. And manifesting is a really good way of just putting what you want into the future, into the now. So the first, I actually have like my notes right here if I'm looking down, but I really want to make sure that I get everything into this video. So the first thing that I usually do is speaking it into existence. I use words like I will or I shall. You know, you can, if you have a dream, for example, you can say, I will get that car, I will get that job, I will get that raise, I shall get that car, I shall get that raise. And these are words that are putting it out there. It's positive words, it's being positive, and it's saying that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You can also say it in the now as if it's already happened. So you can say, I have that car, I have that job, I have that raise. And saying things like this, it's really positive affirmations, putting what you want for your future self and saying it into the now. It's putting that positivity into the universe and hoping that you would reap it sometime soon. Some methods that I usually use, I would write down things. Now, I don't really have a book or a journal like a lot of people. I would use my notes. I write it on a sticky note. If I was in class and I would just write it everywhere. I remember my first instance with manifesting. It was way back when I was like 10 or 11. I was at a summer camp and there was this guy that came and he was saying, what is the hardest subject that you have in school? And I remember I wrote it down. I think it was maths or something. I wrote it down on a piece of paper and he said, hold up that paper. And he said, how does that paper feel? And I was like, it just feels like paper. And then he made us touch a wall. He was like, how does that wall feel? I was like, it feels hard. And he said, the wall is hard and this paper is soft. And he's like, punch the wall. And I punched the wall and it was hard. And he was like, punch the paper. And obviously when you punch a piece of paper, you crumble it, it just, crumbles. And he says, that is what maths is like. It's not hard at all. You just need to see yourself succeeding in it, seeing that you're crumbling it, crushing it, and it's going to happen. And believe it or not, that was the first time I had an experience with manifesting. And after that experience, maths no longer became hard to me. It was just a problem that I just had to work on and I ended up crushing it. And that is something that I did with whatever subject I was struggling in at the time and in future. I would write it down on a piece of paper and I would crumble it and I would say that this isn't a hard subject. I just need to be able to know how to crush it. And I will get into it further as I go along in this video, but writing it down and seeing yourself overcoming something, especially if it's a challenge, that is a good way of just manifesting you getting to a place of getting over that challenge. Another thing is speaking it into existence. Similar to just using the words I will and I shall, just speaking it out loud really helps. You don't need to tell it to another person, because I think in the Caribbean, when you tell other people, or just anywhere generally, you tell people your dreams and aspirations, and there are lots of people who don't believe in you. There are lots of people that would say, that's something that you shouldn't consider because you don't have X, Y, and Z. And I know for a fact, if I have something on my heart, or I want something, and I tell someone and they just crush my dreams immediately, I wouldn't want to work towards it, because I feel as though they immediately see me as not getting there. So if you don't feel comfortable telling another person, if you're by yourself or whenever you're by yourself, just say it out loud. I will get that job. I will get into that university. I will pass all of my subjects. Just saying it to yourself over and over again. It's just putting it out there, and it's putting it out there that it will happen to you. And knowing that it's just you saying it to yourself, you believe in yourself enough that it will happen, and you're manifesting it and you're putting it out there. Another thing that's really important that I used to do, I still do, is planning out my goals. Short-term, long-term, middle-way goals. Anything that I have or that I want to achieve in the near future or in the long-distance future, it's really important that you plan it out. Because even though you're manifesting something, you have to take certain steps to get there. You don't get there by just putting it out there. That doesn't make any sense. You're living in the real world, and you have to put in the work to get something. It's not going to fall in your lap. That is not how the real world works, honey. It's not. You don't just say, I want $1 million, and somebody drops it in a duffel bag. No. If you want $1 million, you write down, how am I going to get this? Am I going to start a business? Am I going to get an extra job? Am I going to play the lottery every single day until it happens? Write it down. No matter how stupid or dumb your way to getting it may sound, just writing it down. And I'm somebody, I write down 10 different ways that I can get to something, and one of those ways ends up being that way, because it's really just you putting out the different avenues that you can get to something. There is no one way to get to something. There's no one way to winning a prize. There are multiple avenues, multiple directions that you can take depending on what you're manifesting, or depending on what your goal is to get there. So no one can tell you, you have to stay on this path and you will get there. There are different ways, especially if you do your research and you know exactly how you want to get there. And that's really important. Research is very, very important. And it's also putting things into a realistic perspective on how you want to get and how you want to get there, and how to get rid of ideas that may not be too sensible, but at the time you just wrote it down. Another thing that I do, which I didn't realize was manifesting, is vision boards, which is visualizing things. I'm a visual learner, and so just seeing pictures, it just makes things a lot easier for me to understand. And a lot of people I know have vision boards, so putting it down, taking pictures, sticking it up, it really puts things out there. It puts it in front of you. You can visualize it and you can see it, and you can see it happening. If you want to move abroad, you take pictures of that place that you want to go. You put pictures of the places that you want to visit. You put a plane. You also put a date that you want it to happen. And this is just ways of visualizing it happening. And it will happen once you put in that hard work. Once you put in those steps and you manifest it, it's just going to happen that way. Now, manifesting sounds really good. I'm going to be honest. But a lot of people don't talk about what happens if what you manifest doesn't happen. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. I look at it as, if something that I wanted doesn't happen, God has bigger plans. The universe has bigger plans for me. And it's because I put something there that he probably didn't have in my cards, but there's something bigger along the lines. And you shouldn't look at it as, oh, I'm a failure, it didn't happen. No, it's because there's something bigger that's going to happen in your life, and you just need to trust in whoever you believe in, and it will happen. You need to look at it from a realistic perspective. Like, some things are just not destined to happen, but you also need to be grateful in a sense. You need to also show gratitude. You need to say, even though this didn't happen, I still have life. Even though I didn't get that fancy car that I wanted, you may have gotten something else. You still have a car. You may not have gotten that house that you've had up on your wardrobe for however many years, but you still have a house. You may not have gotten that raise, but you still have a job. There's so many things that you need to consider and you need to show gratitude for, because that's the first step. You need to be humble and you need to understand that things are still happening to you, even if it's not exactly what you want to happen. Good things are still happening, and you need to look at those good things as blessings, and you need to look at it as it's just one step, one hurdle that you need to get over. So I know this video was a little bit different for my channel. Like, I've never done anything like this, but I thought that it would be really good to just share. I don't know who may need to listen to this video, but I hope that it helps you. I hope that it helps you in really putting yourself into perspective and believing that certain things can happen once you manifest it, once you put your actions and you put your time into getting those goals that you want. And there's so many things that I've manifested that have happened to me, but there are other things that haven't, and I'm still grateful because the good always outweighs what hasn't happened, and that is something that you just need to be grateful for. So if you enjoyed this type of video, please tell me. If you have any questions, don't be shy in the comment section, and I will see you in my next video.